Hello, YouTube modeling community. It's Rusty Rotor with Let's Get a Drink. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Pretty chill. I was kind of under the weather. Didn't feel real good Saturday. I did get out here and worked a little bit on the villain, Cecilia the villain. I'll show you that real quick, and then we'll get into our topic. As you can see, the back, it's all closed in. We are ready for paint, which is not much. Like I said, it's just a matte finish. So we're going to use the Abyss Black. Everything will get painted that. I still got to shoot another coat of primer on the bed and the hood, and then we'll be ready for paint. And I will also be, when I'm primering those, I'll be primering the grill, the headlight bezels, and the taillight bezels. I think that's the only pieces. Let me find them. I had them sitting here with this so I can show you. Okay. Oh, here they are right in front of my face. I did have them sitting there. See? The bumpers, the grill, the license plate frames, and the taillight bezels. These will all get primed, and then they will get painted the Abyss Black, and then they will get a semi-gloss or a satin finish over top of that. We got our bed floor notched. I started with this. I may have to take a little bit more on each side. Just depends on the width of the tires, but this is a separate piece, so it's not going to stop me from getting the body painted. This will be getting painted, it'll get a wood floor over top of this, and then the bed rails put back in using photo etch or brass strips. One of the two, I don't know yet. I gotta look at the pictures again, see if I can see a glimpse of what it actually has. If not, I'm gonna have to come up with something. But yeah, so we're ready to rock and roll. So we got that done this weekend. And as cluttered this is and chaos, I found my tubing. See this, guys, this is opened. Let's see if you can, there we go. I got this at Hobby Lobby. This is just bead material, but this is perfect for radiator hoses. All you gotta do is put a little piece of wire or a tiny piece of styrene rod that'll fit inside this. So always check first. So you put your little stem in the radiator, upper and lower, and on into your engine, and then this would just slide over it. You can make your clamps up in advance and glue your clamp on, and then just slide this over the little stem, and you got a real nice looking, actual rubber radiator hose. So pro tip, and that's $1.99 with how many feet? 5 yards. So that's what, 15 feet? 18 feet? And you'll spend $4 or let's say between 3 and 7 for like ProTech or any other company that makes a little rubber hose for aftermarket parts, and you're only getting no more than 2 to 3 feet. So balling on a budget, guys. That's the way to do it. I've been painting people again. We'll take a look at that real quick, and that's kind of it. We got this little guy painted up. He's the 50s era look. I'm going to put him in my 32. I think he'll fit down in there perfect. I got to touch up his boot. I did get him varnished, but now I got to touch up his boot. So no big deal. It'll take just a couple seconds, touch that up, and then we'll get him in that 32. It looks like he's getting ready to shift anyways with his hand down there. So I think he'll be appropriate to fit in there. So if you get close up, you can see, he kind of cartoonish, but, he looks the part, so that's all that matters. And then we got this whole Here, I'll turn it around. It'll be a lot easier. We got this whole tub of people painted. Remember, guys, most of these aren't even getting used in the diorama. Most of the people from the diorama, well, there's a few in here that will get used. Our main characters that we've already showed, characters. And then there's a few that Ernest is going to print off for us. And then the checkerboard thing is kind of a pivotal piece. Norman Langlis is going to print the two old guys that'll be sitting there playing checkers. And he's sent some renderings back already of stuff that looks very cool. I gave him a seal of approval on it, so he's going to be in the printing mode. Ernest and I are going to be talking later today on the phone to go over all the dimensions of the handrails that go down the steps, all around the balconies. There's two windows that get the like window treatment that's wrought iron, where you can put a planter box down inside it. He'll be making those. He'll be making the tables and chairs, a park bench style bench that's going to be sitting down in the courtyard. He's already made the fountain, sent me pictures of it. He already water tested it. It's flipping amazing. He does excellent work, especially when it comes to the designing part. And then Ernest is also going to be making a bunch of other stuff. So we're trying to just do it in like segments, the most important stuff. So like the handrails, the light fixtures, and the fountain are like pivotal. That way I can get the electric ran. I can get once I get the electric ran, then I can get the doors and windows in. He's making doorknobs for all the doors. The manhole cover and the sewer drain. Fire hydrant. What else? I already said the tables and chairs. Some S-style shingles, the clay shingles, and the ridge caps. The ridge caps is what's going to go around the red building, around that roof, where the brick is exposed in the stucco, to cover up the top of that foam board. So they'll go across the back, down the side, and across the front here. The other side, I'll have to cut the tiles in half, because that's the point of view. That's where it cuts off. That red building, would actually be a lot wider. It's just not seen because of the point of view we're looking at. It gets chopped off there, same as all the back of the buildings are all chopped off, and then the street and the sidewalk and all that would be a little bit. There would be a grassy area, kind of where that ends. So what else? And just a bunch of other little things. Let me write this down real quick. Well, I got it on my head or I'll forget. All right. So, mail. We got some more little shrubs in. These were on sale on Amazon. Really cheap, but they're really high quality. Look really nice. Again, all this is going to get used on this diorama. Just bits and pieces, along with everything else that I've made. And have gotten along the way. Remember, we got gas or nights. We got the gas station in the garage, like a street block corner of a little town. And the main focal points is the gas station and the garage that sits behind it. And maybe down the road we'll do the additions of the city park and the junkyard that's right next to the gas station and garage. And then the point of view is going to be looking right at it. So we'll be looking down a road this way and a road that goes this way, and the gas station and the garage. And then maybe later on we'll have the junkyard, and we'll have the little city park with the point of view will get cut off some point of the pond. So there'll be a lot more people and things going on. But I've been kind of just, you can get these cheap people for just a few dollars on Amazon. They're G scale. It's the same thing as 1/25th scale. And they do vary in size. So, because not every human is the same height, same width, or anything like that. So it makes it really kind of realistic to see people at different sizes and poses and everything else. A lot of these duplicate, triplicate, and quadruplicate in the types, but when we're doing a Gasser Nights and there's people sitting, it doesn't matter as long as I paint them all different, they'll all look different. And we're still going to need a few select pieces when we get to that diorama of people. So that being said, we got some more paints in. These are just contrast paints from Citadel. I like these, and I've been really stocking up on these as I get a few extra dollars. These are kind of pricey for what they are. The speed paints work just as good as these, the contrast paints, but I'm using them for different things. And when I get to painting my Warhammer stuff and all these miniatures, all these are going to play a pivotal part in all that. So it's good for whatever you have within your hobby, that you have the material or tools to accommodate you to work on those. So we haven't done one in quite a while. Our topic for the Mental Monday, and this is just kind of food for thought, guys and gals. A lot of you are aware of it, know about it. Some of you may not even think twice about it. Is materials. Now, these are materials we can use for our builds, materials that we can use for dioramas. It doesn't matter. It's all in the creativity. It goes on to talk to you. So materials, what are you talking about, Rick? Materials are anything from, for example, at the dollar store, I think you got like 50 of them, styrofoam plates. These are perfect paint palettes. Now, why do I say perfect? Because they are perfect. Now, you could be super anal and go wash this off with soap and water. To these pigment type paints, it's porous. So as you can see how it dries, it dries. It's not going to come 100% clean, but yes, you could clean this and reuse the one plate over and over and over again until you can't clean it no more. Then, you throw it away. Or you can cut the bottom of it out. It's round. You can use this to make smaller tabletops. You can cut rectangles out of it and hand paint like magazine covers if you're very good at painting. You can cut them up into tiny little pieces and make roof shingles. The sky is kind of limited. You just got to use your creativity. What could I use this for? And we've touched base on this a little bit when it comes to the organization, having containers to put all this stuff in, so you're just not cluttering up your work area. This is just one example. Another example is your popsicle sticks, your coffee stirrers that are made of wood. Don't throw it away. Put it in a Ziploc baggie or a container. Mark it what it is. Those are all great if you're going to do any kind of scratch building for a diorama or just a background for your model car. It's lumber. It's wood. It can be cut. It can be sanded. It can be painted. It can be stained. It doesn't really matter. So it's all in the eyes of the beholder type thing. Same way when you're outside. Twigs, branches, little pieces of weeds, leaves. The perfect time to gather your leaves is in the spring and the fall. And what you say, why is that? Well, in the spring they're fresh, so you can pick you a zillion different styles and types and colors of leaves. The fall is great because that's when they change color. You get your reds, your oranges, your yellows, your browns. Spring, you'll get your fresh greens and reds and whatever other color the leaves are. And you dry those out, of course. Well, at Hobby Lobby, they make a little thing, it's like a little stamp. You slide the leaf in and you press it, and it'll print out or cut out a tiny little leaf shape. And then you just put all those little leaves in a container and mark them and what they are if you want to. Maple leaves, whatever, pine leaves, pine needles. It doesn't make pine needles, but you know what I'm saying. It's all a way to build up an abundance of material for a fraction of the cost. Yes, we can go to Walthers. We can go to a zillion different aftermarket companies that sell pre-made stuff, and yeah, it's easier to just grab that and take a few leaves out of whatever you need, debris. Excuse me, guys. Sinuses are horrible, but if you can DIY it, you can mass amount, make more than you're ever going to need for not even pennies on the dollar. And this all fits the balling on the budget. Now, staying in that landscaping set of mind, so bear with me. You know, our companies, the company I talked about before, a couple of you have gone and ordered this stuff, and I hope you've really had good success with it. I love using this better than the embossing powder. A lot of people like the embossing powder better. You want to make it really good, you can mix the embossing powder in with this in a little separate container and give yourself like a multicolored carpeting or multi-textured carpeting. But just this stuff, you know, for a couple dollars for this big bag. I mean, this is a lot. I've only used this one time, and that was for the Gran Torino that I did. Gran Torino Sport, I think it is. The one from the movie Gran Torino with our man Clint Eastwood. But I found these in my stash. This is a green. I don't know what kind. This was given to me. It says emerald. But by taking a little bit of this and mixing it with this, I get a variation. And you can kind of see, if I hold it up there, and I'll get the lighter tones by mixing this with the darker tones. So it would look like ivy, kind of, or a different type of plant. So it's good to have, you know, this company, to give you an example. I know I'm jumping all over the place. There's probably 6-7 different shades of green. At least 10 shades of brown, so you can do your earth, you know, colors of dirt and stuff like that. You know, you can, and for $20, $20 to $30, you'd have more than you need to do probably 15 dioramas. And if you're like me, I wouldn't build 15 dioramas in my lifetime because I wouldn't have time. But you can do it a lot cheaper. Now, when it comes to static grass and stuff like that, because it's different lengths, there is companies you can use that are on Amazon, that on Temu or Temu. You wait a little longer to get it, but it's worth it because you're saving a lot of money. You can get that static grass in different lengths. And if you got a static grass applicator, it works the same. You know, you just mix your colors together, or use one color and then do it, and then do your separate color. But it's all materials, and everything I try to talk about or do is the balling on the budget. It's a way to do things and save money and have the same outcome as if you used all name brand products and, you know, just didn't care how much money it cost and you threw at it. Now, the difference is if I'm doing a commission build, I will use not the top dollar stuff, but I will use the good stuff because it is something for somebody else other than myself. And I compared that when I finished a project like that to a product I did balling on the budget. Couldn't tell the difference, guys. I just couldn't. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's what looks the part, fits the part, and you know, the most important thing is saving a dollar, so you have more money to use for the good stuff. Balsa wood. So let's talk about different types of wood. There's balsa wood, there's basswood, there's I've not seen it in super thin sheets. This stuff's in about I think, an 1/8 inch. It's called wacky wood. I used it in the real world for anything that was round. This stuff concaves and manipulates and bends very easily without having to soak the wood, strap the wood, and get it to bend. I built a lot of decks that were curved, and I would have to take, a come along and a ratchet strap and get the wood good and wet, and then bow it and put a strap on it and let it sit overnight, and then come back and get it super wet again, and then tighten that strap up until I get that radius that I want or need. You can do that with balsa wood, basswood. You can do that too, but they make a product called wacky wood, and it's very expensive, and it comes in sheets. I think they're 4x8. I don't know if they're as big as a sheet of plywood. They might be. It's used a lot in the commercial end of construction. There's all kinds of other really super thin laminates that can be used too for your bases, to build the walls out of. It doesn't really matter. We've showed you can get a big bag at Hobby Lobby for $7 or $8 of just hundreds of little pieces of balsa wood and basswood mix, different sizes, and it's perfect for framing your doors out of, your windows out of, stick construction, whatever scale you're building at. And balsa wood itself by nature is pretty cheap, and you get, I think, anywhere from 4 to 8 pieces in a pack for just a few bucks. So you're not really hurting the bank so much when you're buying balsa wood. And Hobby Lobby is a good source because they have a big selection of it. They usually stay pretty good up in stock on it. And your other things are, like we've discussed before, wire, string, yarn, twine, anything that you could possibly use it for, you're better off saving that. I saved, let me see if yeah, here it is. This was stuffing in something that was shipped. Okay, this is just like, what do you call it, tissue paper, like you would put in a package, one of those bags. Now this stuff is the perfect width for mini blinds in 1/25 scale. Actually, it's probably a little bigger. Yeah, it's about twice as big. But I can take this and make a window, and on the back side of the window, I can paint this stuff whatever color I want, and I can cut me strips that are this wide or a little wider in the window, and I can overlay them. And by the time I'm done, it'll look like a mini blind on the back of the window. And it's already pre-cut for me. Even if it's a little out of scale, it still will look the part. You know what I mean? And if you're doing a bigger scale, this would be the perfect size. Now, if you want to get technical, you can tape each end of this down and rip it down in half, and then do the same method. It's it's just saving a little handful of materials, no matter what it is. Cardboard, your craft foam, styrofoam, this pink insulation board. And having a hot knife set is really good for this. You can make rocks, stones, multi-level, cliffs, whatever, for a train layout, a racetrack layout, dioramas. It don't matter. I also save other various pieces of wood. Like this is off one of these desks, the corner round. I think this is 3/4 inch or 3/4 by 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch thick and 3/4 wide on each side. Do a quarter. Well, I can use this and cut it down. I can sand all this paint off of here and sand the wood down and restain it, and I can make these my corners for a display cabinet or display case. And the only thing I would do is I'd glue my plexiglass to the back side of it here and here, and then on the top I would do the same thing. The only thing I do is 45 these, and then fit my top piece, and then my top piece would be glued here underneath the top, and I wouldn't glue it here. That way I can lift the lid off of the top, and then I can take the whole surround off of it. So a stick of this is probably about $6-7 at Lowe's, Home Depot. But you can make your own display cases. You can buy they'll pre-cut the plexiglass for you, or go buy the little sheets and bring it home yourself. You only need 16th inch, no more than 1/8 inch thick plexiglass. You can buy it in the pre-sized sheets. Come home and score it, snap it, sand your edges down, leave the plastic on it till you're done, then peel the plastic off, glue it in place. You can use silicone, like clear silicone, glue it here. That way it keeps dust out. So you can build your own display cases. I save 1/2 inch MDF board like this. It's very smooth, so it'd make a really nice surface for your base. Or if I wanted to do like a concrete wall, I could cut this down with a saw. I got a little cordless saw. I can cut this down and glue styrofoam to the face of it and mar my bricks out of it, and then it'll look like it's a thick wall versus, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch styrofoam. And then you have material like this. Can't get it out. There it is. This is pressed paper board. It's very, very rigid, very durable. It's solid. It's easy to sand. It's easy to cut. You just use a hobby grade knife, like a utility knife. It'll tear a number 11 blade all to pieces, and probably your fingers. But a utility knife, and you can cut this whatever shape. You can build your walls out of this. You can glue your styrofoam to this. This wouldn't be really good for a diorama. I mean, you'd have to cut it down and be precise, and I like nice straight edges. But this could be used for tons of things. And I just save little pieces like this. Like, got a little spot in here I keep everything in. Any styrofoam, and you guys have seen on the end of the diorama table, I built that pocket organizer for all my balsa wood and my metal rod and tubing and dowel rods and stuff like that. All that little stuff, believe it or not, guys, is, and here's a good example. Store up there, that's what I said, I need to get this room a little bit redone and organized so I can get all this stuff not like that, or like that. It's irritating, but we're going to get it. I hate to lose this desk, but I think it's going to be the best bet. It is going to be the best bet. As much as I hate to lose, but we're not going to get rid of it. We're just going to take it apart and we're going to store it out in the shed. Maybe at a later date, if we do sell this house and we have our dream house built, which is probably in the next few years, then we'll have a bigger shop, because the way I'm wanting to do it, guys, is, so I'm disabled, and steps are not my friend. So we want to do a no step living type house that's what they call a slab home, ranch style, but I want an oversized 2-car garage. So at the end of the hall, going down back towards the garage, there would be a closet door type thing, and you open the door and there'll be a set of steps that'll go up and over top of the garage. That whole over the garage will be my new shop, in the scheme of things. Or if we buy an existing house, chances are it'll be down in the basement, and I'll have to put a chairlift in eventually, within the next few years, or a couple years of living in it. We'd have to get a chairlift put in, because it's just getting harder and harder for me to do steps. But that being said, we will eventually bring this desk back into the scheme of things. Maybe not for the purpose that it has now, but it will get integrated back in. Let's see what else. There was other material. Even like your model boxes, your old model boxes, cut them up into flat pieces and store them in something. And then when you get a container full, then by all means start throwing them away or give the box away or whatever. Even that flat cardboard, as thin as this, can be used for hundreds of things. You can cut out your window frames out of that. You can cut the face of the door out, then add wood to it and create a three-dimensional type door. Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby always have these little pieces of fabric they're like $1. Sometimes it's even less. Sometimes it's a couple bucks. But like to make the curtains for the backdrop of the windows, material for car seats. This stuff, I always get the super, super thin stuff, so it's easy to manipulate over a seat. So if I wanted this kind of pattern on the seat and the real cloth look, I have probably 10 different colors and styles. Craft foam, if you guys are big into lowriders. These are perfect to make your interior door panels out of, your seat panels, your dashboard, whatever you want. It's easy to scribe into, and it leaves that indentation in there. So diamond pleating, or diamond tuffing, rolled and pleated, that kind of look. This stuff's excellent for it, and you can get it in so many different shades of colors. And you can get one big variety pack of all the different colors for just a few dollars. Diorama feature. This was, I think, $2 on clearance. If you guys know about any ceilings or anything, so like if you're into dioramas or just building houses, these little things would be great for like a roof panel in a diorama. Or if you're building bigger scale, this would be a nice piece to put in the center of your door, and then, you know, all the wood framed around it, so it looked like it was hand carved wood after you painted it and stained it. Things like that. I've just always, a zillion things running through my head. So here's another one, another fabric, super thin. These were like 50 cents. It's a little stretchy. So I could cut out a piece and I could wrap a plastic seat with this and make it look like it's been covered, or I could just do inserts or whatever. String like this. This string is multiple strings made in a cord. So you can unravel it into single strings. I use this for my beading around my seat edges, especially if I do something like that. So I have matching color. I can go lighter, I can go darker, or I can go real dark black to pick up the accent in the pattern. And I can do the beading around the seats. And I'll unravel this to whatever size I need for the seat, or keep it this size, whatever, and have a nice looking seat. Take it even further. We got this for $3.99. It's just filled. This is like people that do the cross stitching, but this is multiple strands, and you can use it individually, whatever. And the color selection is vast. It doesn't matter. Pieces that came off of something, I don't know where this came from, but it's got the mesh, so I can use it for screen. I can use this to airbrush through to create a design. I can make a fence out of it if I wanted to. You know, I just cut the shiny part off here, but I could stretch it and get it down to the scale I need. Right there's about the scale for regular chain link fence. You know, paint this stuff in an aluminum color, and it's going to look like chain link. You put it in between your posts. It's all that kind of material. Now I can get the drawer shut. I got a problem. It's all this kind of materials. And believe it or not, guys, you can make this stuff yourself. This was just cheap enough to catch my interest and save me a lot of work. But, you know, balling on the budget, you can make this stuff yourself by chopping up those sponges really fine, painting them that yellowish brown color, using static grass and making your own little patches of grass. Use wax paper, and you would use PVA glue, and then you'd static grass that and make your little grass tufts, and then you would spray a little bit of hairspray on there and sprinkle that yellow foam on top of it, and you get the same look as this for a fraction even what I paid for this. And this was only like $2. I think I paid $4.99 for both. They came together. And that was the deal. Normally they were like $7.99. So there's ways of saving tons of money. And it just, you don't have to put in the elbow grease. There's ways to make your own stuff. And just collecting materials that you normally would just throw away are considered to be trash. I know two people right now, one's on YouTube and one was on Instagram, doing stuff with trash. I think it was what his channel was called, or his Instagram page. Paying bills with trash or something like that. If anybody knows the correct term, throw it down there in the comments. But he would just make things. That's a true artist. He would just make all kinds of different things, whether it be toys or pieces of a diorama or actual full-blown diorama, just by using pieces of junk and trash and stuff you find. An arm off an action figure, straws. Guys in our hobby making dioramas, straws can be used so many different things. Piping, you can cut them in half and make gutters. You can make the flexi straws that'll give you your downspout look with the offset just by bending the straw. They're a little too small for what I'm trying to do here. I collected a few and was hoping to go that route. So I'm going to have to talk Ernest into making some gutters and the pieces for it. But I was hoping to use it for this, and they're just a little too small. They look a little way out of place kind of thing. Pins. We use them in the modeling world to adapt like a 4-link type thing. All the little tiny components, the pins are what make everything function and move, and so you can get your right angles of everything. In the hobby, they can be used for doorknobs at this scale. They can be used to pin walls together to hold it in place while it's gluing and drying, holding a piece in place. They can be used for cutting off and making pins, putting in your radiator, slide the hose over. Even little sewing, some of the stuff from the sewing world works very, very well. Your little medicine cups, if you have children, grandchildren, you pour the medicine in it, and you throw it away after you're done because you get a new one with a new bottle. Wash those out. Those are perfect for mixing up your paints to spray your models with, or fill it with thinner to add a little thinner to your paint as you're spraying, or hand painting. Some things like styrofoam bowls. This came off of a package that soap to clean your paintbrushes. I kept this. Why? Because I could either use it for filling it up with some water and cleaning my brush out with, or I can mix up a lot of paint if I need to in this, and then just throw this away when I'm done. Or I can cut it out and use this for one window. Throwing away money. Not to mention throwing away this, it hurts our planet. You can take it a step further. This can be put in a recycling bin and disposed of properly instead of just throwing it into your trash. I don't want to get too much into that. A lot of people get anal about things, and I'm kind of the same way. I've done my fair share of just throwing this in the regular garbage and not giving two craps worth of thought to it. But the older you get, the more you start thinking about stuff like that. But this has multiple uses, so I didn't throw it away. So I'll reuse this for something. And 2-3 years down the road, if I've never used it by then I may go ahead and just cut it up and store it in something, and I'll use it. And if not, it can be thrown away or disposed of properly then. But I have it. Back to the model car world. These little pie pans. These are awesome if you like to do Pro Street, Pro Mod, NASCAR. You can cut this whole bottom out. You can smooth this indention out of it completely. And you can rub this over top of your model's floor pan, and you can replicate a floor pan out of the aluminum finish. This will even polish up. Go buy a little bit of that Never Dull. I always talk about it's like cotton inside this blue can. It's called Never Dull. You just rub the crap out of it. rub the crap out, and even use your fingers, you can see the difference in the shininess that it gave. So you want to line the inside of your Pro Street with all aluminum interior. You can put divots in it. There's little, I have them, those little wheels that's got the little spikes on it. That'll put all like where the rivets would go and proper spacing in them. These little things are your friends. Save them. You don't have to save every one of them, but save a few. Put them in a container. That way you have them when you go to do that build. Just cut this out of there, flatten it out more, and then start cutting the panels out of it. And, you know, be done with it. Let me find that wheel. Now, here's one right here. Ow. I'll tell you, you get these in, I think there's 2 or 3 different sizes. That's nice. I mean, that screws from this. So you can, you know, get more distance out of it, whatever. But these are very spiky. And if I laid this down flat, and I rolled it, now you can see. You can see what it does. That looks like just a crap load of rivets in a line. So imagine in the bigger one, the spikes are further apart, so you can get, you know, to scale distance. This would be good for like model airplanes, tanks, stuff like that. Just riveting a whole sheet of metal to one big area. And I mean, it'll actually poke through. So be mindful of how much pressure you put on it. But that's just one way. There's 3 sizes. This is the biggest one. So I'll do it on top. That would be more for our scale. You can see the spacing in between. The line at the bottom is a lot closer together. This one's further away. And then the next one is a size smaller than the one I just did before this one. So, and I think I paid like $12 for those, if I'm not mistaken. And then dental tools, you can get those at the dollar store, craft store. They work great for etching your door lines out, picking parts out, whatever you need. Tons of things. Oil-based paints, you can thin them down. Make your own washes for if you're into weathering your model cars. I got these a cheap set off Amazon. These are ink. These are acrylic, water-based inks for like if you're doing calligraphy. But in the model world, you can paint figures with these. You can spray your car body with these. These mix very well with the regular acrylic paints to create a different shade, lightening or darkening. I got a whole set, bunch of different colors. You know, there's a red. I got the primary color set, and then there's gold. There's white. The gold is really pretty. Where it went to? What color is this? Burnt umber. So for rusting and weathering, or just painting, and there's a pretty violet. There's the gold, and they shake up very easily. I've had these for about 2 years now, and they're still perfect. They need a little bit better mixing up, but that's the gold. I guess what color it is? Something gold. I got my glasses on. Let me see. Gold. It just says gold. You can brush them on, airbrush them. Don't matter. You can thin them down more if you need to. Use them straight out of the jar. Mix them with another acrylic and change your whole color perspective on it. You can use these for highlighting and come back over top of your acrylics. Multiple purposes and things all the way around. So that's materials. Anything you could use, possibly use, for whatever you're doing. Whether you're doing Gundam, model cars, planes, tanks, airplane, you know, it don't matter. Submarine, ships. And if you're into a lot of the scratch building, like I did this was all scratch built. Just measuring my dimensions that I needed and what I wanted it to look like. I wanted it to look like an old rooftop access area. Those little roof tiles I was talking about that Ernest is going to make. That's why this hasn't got a roof on it yet. But it'll get clay tiles on here. No gutters, just that. And then, I used a straight pin and went through and poked little holes and then rusted them like the nails are all rusted. Weathered it, I used lime green paint and other paints I showed you before to show like it's growing moss and mold. And it's got the mildew at the bottom where this is sitting on the roof, so it's getting more dirt and grime on the bottom. Boards are rotting faster. I still got to make my handle to put on the door. But yeah, I mean, it's, it's all in the creativity and imagination that you have. And I pretty much showed you everything else. Now, like I said, it's easy to buy this. This is the static grass. Now, I could use this to make a pine tree. I could take a little bit of this and mix it with a little bit of this and have a multi-shaded type pine tree. And all you got to do is find a tree branch and then trim it down really good. If it's a real tight branch, trim it down to make it look like a pine tree. And then all you're using is hairspray and a static grass applicator. And you spray it real down with you can use that Scott's 3M spray adhesive, the real fine stuff. And then use your static grass tool and you sprinkle this stuff all over it, and it's going to make these stand up. And when you're done, you got a nice realistic looking pine tree. This whole set was, I don't know, like $7. I can make snow, I can make different multicolored grasses, dead grass, whatever it may be. And that's quite a bit. I mean, you're only using a tiny amount, and what falls off, you just collect it and put it back in the container. So you're not wasting really anything. And then you can even coat the tree with the PVA glue, watered down PVA glue, and then static grass. It's all in your methods and your ideas. So we're going to get off here. I could go for hours on it, and you guys would know it too. Water bottles, these things, they make perfect fuel tanks. You just got to build, 2-leg bases for it, and then this would get painted and weathered to look like a propane tank or whatever. And this is almost, this is almost accurate to size if you did a diorama of a propane place selling propane and propane accessories, almost to scale. So a couple of these bottles, these complete, not the ones that are shaped, but the round ones like this, and then you seal this off, fill it in, sand it down so it looks solid or whole. This would look like a propane tank or even gas tank at an old gas station, the above ground tanks that held gasoline and diesel. It's kind of what these look like. This one's a little caved in now, but multiple purposes for stuff we consider trash. So you guys can let me know what you think about this. Any other good ideas that you use that I've not mentioned or maybe I'm not aware of, let me know. Drop them down in the comments. Flood the comments as always, guys. That's what helps boost this channel. Spread the word. Share the video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that little bell notification, wherever it may be up here somewhere. That'll let you know when these videos come out. Our next video will be probably this Friday. Of course, it'll be what's on our bench. We'll be showing you where we're at with Cecilia and the Mustang build, the Shelby. We are in the final stages of the Shelby. And then we're going to be shifting focus to get the Pro Street done. And then the Oliver Biden project done. You guys have heard me talk about it before, what's coming up. A lot of miscellaneous stuff. The only new project that we will start on that we haven't already started on will be the Challenger. the Purple Challenger. Everything else has either been started on or we've got close to being finished, like the Ring Brothers Charger. All those are really, we need to get those done. So this will be the year for us to do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. My perspective on what people, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And, you know, that will be the title for this video. It's just a mental thought. It's Monday, so how suiting would that be? Even these guys, if you throw these away when you're done, these little bottles can be used for tons of things. Tons of things. You can cut them in half and use them, just put a little thinner in to clean your brush. You can use them to, if you clean them out all the way, the tip comes out. You can mix up, if you got an excessive amount of paint, you can pour those into here, put this back on, screw this on, that seals the paint. You can shake it up, put a little ball bearing down in there, shake it up as you need it, and continuously use it. You're not wasting the paint. And that goes for your lacquers. These will seal all lacquer. They won't dry out. And then you can just, you already got it pre-mixed, squirt it out into your airbrush or through a strainer into your airbrush, and you got paint. You're ready to go. You just got to take these apart, clean them really well, take the label off, put a piece of tape around it, and write what it is now on there. So you're aware of, you know, hey, it's a ruby red or whatever it may be. Don't just throw these away. Save these. Soak them. Hot soapy water. Get a brush set and scrub, get all the excess paint out and get them out real good, rinse them out, and put them in your paint drawer. And when you mix up and you got too much paint and you're done, you're like, oh, I got all this excess paint, I have nothing to put it in. Well, now you do. So, another little pro tip. And that holds true, guys, for any of these products. AKs, you can clean this out really good. It seals really nice. You can put your lacquers in there because it's a glass bottle. Oh, no, it's not. It's plastic. Still, you can put it in there and it'll keep your paints fresh. Anytime you use a bigger pot of these Vallejo metallizers, rinse them out, clean them out really good, and you can put other paint in them, just relabel them what they are. So it saves you money from having to buy bottles, and you're repurposing something that normally would just get thrown in the trash. So other than that, we'll work on another Mental Monday. I got one more to kind of finish up, get my thoughts, bearings straight on that. And we will touch base on that down the road. So until then, guys, you have a great rest of your week. Come on, let's get these subs up. We're pushing hard. We love to do giveaways. I base them accordingly to milestones. So the more you guys help me, the more I'm able to help you. And again, as always, leave your comments down below. Communication is key. It's what I know what you're thinking about. If you like it or not, thumbs up are great, but it doesn't really tell me anything verbally. Even though it's not verbally, you're just typing it out. You know what I mean. Seeing something that I can read is a lot more informative to me than just doing this. I appreciate it all. As always, we'll see you on the next one. This is Rusty Rotor. I'm out. By the way, prayers for Terry Sr. I saw his video. He's home now, but he has hospice care. My personal dealings in hospice care have not always been good. I hope him and wish him the best. I want to be able to see him again at Acme. I really like the gentleman. I like talking with him. He's a great guy, and he's deserving, very deserving of some more life. So let's say a lot of prayers for him. Hope that he gets stronger and gets healthier, where he can, get to moving around, and we get to see him on the hangouts and see the videos that he makes. So again, keep Terry in your thoughts and your prayers. Terry, I'm thinking about you, brother. I'm saying my prayers for you. I hope to see you back to what we can call normal very soon. So that being said, this is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.